Hi, I'm Chris Erasmus. Welcome to Motte. I'm the chef here. I'm going to show you a little canape that I like to do with our Shiraz. I've got a few ingredients here that works really well with Shiraz. I've got some berries, I've got some spices. Firstly, what I've done is I've made a mushroom pesto. Roast off some mushrooms. I added cashew nuts instead of pine nuts and a richer cheddar instead of parmesan. It's got a nice, spicy, earthy flavor. Taken some berry liquid. You can take some berry juice, and I've infused it with cloves, cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice. So it's got a nice sweet and sour, spicy tinge to it. Now, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to make the vinaigrette. I've got a pomegranate vinaigrette, which is also nice and sweet. Firstly, some beautiful pomegranates. I'll break that open. I've got some red peppers and some red onion diced. I'm going to add some of the pomegranates to it. There we go. I've got some here. That in. Let's get rid of all the pith because that's quite bitter. Put that in there. Now I've got a little bit of pomegranate molasses. Some of the berry liquid. Just the nice spiced berry liquid. Some chives. Some olive oil. Just going to mix that through. A little bit of salt. That's nice and spicy. Now, next, I'm going to show you how to make duck liver parfait jellies. So firstly, what I've done is I've made a duck liver parfait. Piped it into a little mold and stuck sticks in them so I can pull them out. I've put them in the freezer so they're nice and hard, so the jelly will set around them very quickly. What I'm going to use to gellify this is I've got agar. Now you can use something else like Iota or Kappa Carrageenan gum. There's a few applications that you can use that actually work at a higher heat. Put your agar in cold, when the liquid's still cold, and then bring it up to a boil. Make sure you simmer it for at least 30 seconds to activate the agar. See, this is coming up to a boil now. Just going to make sure that it simmers for a while. The berry and the spices works really well with the Shiraz. It's got natural acidity, natural sweetness, and then I've added the spices that I find, that I taste in a wine, I've added into it as well. Okay. That's now simmered for a few seconds. Just going to let it go for a little bit longer. Now, for the meal fuel, I'm going to make crispy potato tuiles. What I have here, I've got 300 grams of potato. Just going to strain the water off. And 100 grams of butter. So you go 1 part butter, 3 parts potato. I'm going to melt the butter. When you melt the butter, give it we call it a beurre noisette. Give it a slight burn so that it brings out the nuttiness of the butter. It's really nice. It adds flavor, as you can hear. That's the butter sizzling. Right, so I've got my potatoes. That goes in. You can see the butter, a nice golden brown color. Get it nice and smooth. So all we need here is the starch. And then the butter will make sure that it crisps up nicely. I'm going to pour this onto a non-stick baking tray. If you don't have, greaseproof paper would work really well. Get it nice and thin. Chunky piece, take that out. Get it nice and thin. Pop it in the oven at 180 degrees and bake it until it's golden brown. I've pre-prepared some, as you can see, nice and crispy. Earlier on I made my berry mix. I've let it cool down for about 3 to 4 minutes, just so it's not too hot. Now, I'm going to emulsify some air into it. As soon as we get some air into this, I'm going to take my cold duck liver balls and scoop up some of its foam. Because it's ice cold, it'll set immediately. Alright, that's it. They're all done. I'm going to take a little bit of my mushroom pesto on the bottom of the plate. As a little canape, I'm going to break off some of the tuile. Put a small piece on top of my pesto. Oops, one of my duck liver berry balls. Another piece of potato, another duck liver ball, And then finally the vinaigrette. Spoon some over and a little bit around. Now this complements the creaminess, the spices, the nice contrast. Works really, really well with our Motte Shiraz. Cheers.